you. So you're going to get electronic, or what do you call them? You're going to get plans of all of this. So I'll give you all of this sort of system, but I want to teach you how to use it first. And then you'll just transfer what you've written down into these, and these things you can just leave them on your computer and just type straight into them. So really, if we talk about, so here we are at point A. Now, wherever point A is for you, okay, and it's really important that you start to get a bit of a handle on that. Because in these sessions, it doesn't actually matter what you want to work on. The only way I'll know what you want to work on is what you tell me. Okay, so I won't be able to, sort of guess. But whatever area of your life that you want to work on. And so we've got to have some indication of, what are the results like in that particular area. Now, you can nominate the area, and I'd suggest you write this sort of stuff down. So you write it down, and let's say that I'm just going to put, the areas up here, and you can put your own labels to those things. So if I just say finances, and if I say relationships, if I say lifestyle, if I say business, if I say health. Now, if you want more than that, then you simply put in more. So write the stuff that actually has meaning for you, because it's irrelevant if it doesn't actually have meaning for you. And right now, we're going to see if we can come up with some sort of assessment. So, at the 10 end, there's your version of what's ideal for you, not fantasy, because that can be pushing things too far out, but what would it look like if it was just the ideal situation? What would it actually look like? So that's what the 10 side of the equation, is referring to. And, let's say that the one side is unsatisfactory. Okay, so in this particular area, in any one of those particular areas, one represents my results thus far, my results to the moment are simply unsatisfactory. And they're unsatisfactory relative to my ideal. Because it doesn't matter what score you put in there, you actually have to put a score. But the score can either be relative to the degree of pain or relative to the degree of pleasure. Does that make sense? So I want you to stick it in now. Just quickly go through and make a mark or a letter, a number, and just give yourself a score in each of those areas. Done? Mm-hmm. So, now the sum total of those scores just represents A, or each individual one represents A. Okay? Now, what you want to do is get to a point, and we'll just reference it by point B. Now, point B, of course, is the ideal. But you might, let's say that you've got a 5 in your finances, and let's say that your ideal is 10 times the size of 5. You might not be able to get there in 1 year. So what I want you to do is to think of what would B look like 12 months from now? So you might say, well, look, I would like to at least be at a 7 12 months from now. And so you can now sort of design that for each of those areas, if you like. So just go in and put B 12 months for now in each of those areas. Now, you are going to actually have to take this home and do some work on it, because right now I'm just asking you to put in a figure, but you've got to actually write what that figure looks like in detail. So you've got to actually fatten it up, describe it, so that if I picked it up, I know exactly what you mean. And so it's no good for me picking something up and saying, finances, I'd like to be wealthy, because it doesn't mean a thing. So let's define it. So the more detail that you can get there, the better it is.
Painting a picture of how it's going to look for us.
Absolutely. And the greater the detail, because if you're not, you're actually only tricking yourself. Now, what we're going to use over this next 12 months of mentoring, if you like, is to actually support the journey from point A to point B. And the journey from point A to point B might not necessarily go the way that you might think it needs to go, because it could take a turn there and a turn there, depending on what you're learning or what's suitable or what opportunity comes at the time. So it's reasonably important to have a fairly good idea, but also to remain flexible.
Well, you need to be able to bend, don't you?
Well, we need to be able to at least change with either the obstacles we see in front of us or the opportunities we see in front of us. Now, in order to be able to do that, we've got to map our way there. Okay, so each of these areas